Hello! If you're watching this, maybe you've heard of this thing called rapamycin. Maybe you've been prescribed it, or maybe you read an article claiming it was going to be a fountain of youth in the next few years. Well, the best way to learn about it is to start at the very beginning. Rapamycin was first discovered on the island called Rapa Nui, which you might know as Easter Island. The bacteria in the soil there was able to create rapamycin, and in a lab it was isolated and found to have some really interesting properties, including being an antifungal and immunosuppressive active agent, which essentially just means that it was able to kill fungi and suppress the immune systems. Despite those interesting qualities, rapamycin wasn't well researched until a few decades later when it was tested as an anti-cancer drug. In some cancer types that they tested, they found that rapamycin was really good at killing off the cancer cells. But the question is, how was it doing all these things? The key to rapamycin's success is what it targets in our bodies, specifically this protein complex called mTOR, which is just named target of rapamycin because we didn't know much about it at the time. But over the past couple decades, we found out that this is a super important molecule to regulate a lot of the complex processes happening in our bodies. The reason this was so important in so many different organisms is because it allowed the cells in a body to hunker down and to make it through a period of time in which they might not have a lot of food or might be in high stress. When rapamycin binds with this mTOR protein complex, proliferation and cell growth stops, allowing them to operate at a more sustainable level, recycling old nutrients and only doing what will allow them to survive just a little bit longer. This quality of being able to shut down proliferation and growth ended up being really important in things like treating cancers where we don't want tumors to grow, or even in suppressing the immune system when we're transplanting an organ into the body. And what we've most recently discovered is that this has huge implications for how we age. In all sorts of organisms that have been treated with rapamycin, what we've seen that if treated over a long period of time, they actually live longer lives. But a future in which everyone is taking the drug in order to prolong our lives still seems quite far away, although researchers are still looking into it. And who knows, maybe in a few years we'll all be living much longer and healthier lives.